What is up, everybody? Jordan here with the Deck Box, coming back to you today with another, I guess, new format deck profile. Real quick, want to say one quick thing. A couple of videos ago, a few of you made the point that at the beginning I have, I guess, a little bit too long of announcements. So what I'm going to do for future videos for the announcements, I'm going to hold those to the end, and I'll give it to all the people that stick around for the announcements, just to kind of give you guys those heads up. As much as I like to do them at the beginning, they made a good point. They're right. I do take a little bit too long to start things off. So I'm going to cut it off there, and we're going to hop into this. So we are looking at Quad Glaceon today, and it's not showing my numbers. There they go. We're looking at Quad Glaceon right now, and we're in this new format where Garbotoxin is no more. So our ability to shut off abilities is kind of gone as far as it pertains to shutting off every ability. So right now we have things like Alolan Muck. We covered that in our last video, or a couple videos ago. And we also have things like Slaking, or Slacking, however you say it. And that one can shut off all of your opponent's abilities, which is really, really solid, but not a fantastic attacker, in my opinion. I am going to look at it, though, and kind of see what I can make happen. And then you have Glaceon Gx, where a couple things can happen. One, you can shut off all of your opponent's GX and EX abilities, but you don't shut off your own. And this can happen immediately. You attach that water energy onto your Eevee, which of course has energy evolution. This ability where you attach a basic energy card from your hand to this Pokemon during your turn. You may search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon that is the same type as the energy card, and put it on, excuse me, losing my words, and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. So essentially, you can have stage 1 right out of the gate. If it's in the active, you're shutting off your opponent's GX and EX abilities, which means no Tapu Lele's right out of the gate, means no Rayquaza's going off like crazy, just certain things like that. Zoroark can't do its thing, which is really, really big. Metagross even can't do its thing. So Glaceon is actually, I think, kind of primed for this next format. I didn't really think so originally, but then I've played against it a lot, and I've seen how strong it can be. So I kind of put together my own list, very raw list, I will say that. And the reason I say it's a raw list is because there's still things that I'm testing out for this format to try to figure out counts and what I think certain cards can do as opposed to others. So things might not be perfect, just a heads up. But anyway, what we're looking at here is something that shuts off abilities. And then you have Frost Bullet that does 90 damage to the active, and then 30 damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon. So we're looking at a snipe deck. Really, really solid. Of course, with the Choice Band, you're swinging 120. That pretty much two-shots everything. Then you have Polar Spear GX. 50 times. This attack does 50 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So that really pairs well nicely with that first attack where you can snipe something on the bench, get that 30 damage on there, then bring it up with a Guzma or something later, and Polar Spirit for 150. So that's 180. That's all your big basics, most of your big basics rather. Lele, Bulu, Rayquaza, things like that. And of course with a Choice Band you're going to take out anything else that's a little bit bigger than that, such as Buzzwole GX, Zoroark GX, other Glaceons, Lycanrocs, so more the stage 1 range. And of course you can snipe once more, and you can take down things like Decidueye and Metagross, things of that range. So really, really solid card in and of itself, and that's mostly what we're going to focus on. I did include a few other snipers. We do have Tapu Koko with Flying Flip, where you do 20 to the entire field, which kind of adds a little extra spread. Then the Breakthrough Latios, that does the same thing, except it only hits the active and one bench, but it does 30 to each of those, so this will be good against our Psychic weak decks, maybe Buzzwoles, things like that, to add a little bit more. And then Volcanion has this Sonoblast, does 100 to the active and 20 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So really, you'd rather be hitting with Volcanion than Koko, but Koko's much simpler to set up. So depending on your setup, Volcanion could work a little bit better. Plus, Volcanion has this Jet Geyser ability. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard a Water Energy card from your hand. If you do, your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. So this could allow you to take a little knockout on a baby on the bench, or let's say, for instance, your opponent promotes a Pokemon with hardly any HP left because they know it's going to get knocked out anyway, so they'd rather you hit it with the 90 instead of sniping it with a 30 and taking an easy knockout. They put it in the active and say, just take it, if you're going to take it. You can use Jet Geyser, get it out of the active, hit something else for the full 90, and then snipe it and clear things off. So a really good way. Plus you do play Aqua Patch, so Aqua Patch pairs really well with discarding the water energy. And then 2 Tapu Lele. This of course is our way of I guess, staying consistent with our list. We're trying to draw into early supporters to set our bench up, late supporters for the Guzmas and things like that. So that is why we play the 2 Tapu Lele. Moving into the items, 3 Aqua Patch. This, of course, is a great card to pair with our water decks. We're able to attach a water energy card straight from our discard pile onto one of our benched water Pokemon, and that allows us to set things up quickly. We talked about setting up Volcanion pretty quickly. You attach Aqua Patch, next turn attach, or double Aqua Patch in the same turn. I've seen that happen plenty of times. And Sauna Blast is ready to go. Like, you can make things happen if you play it appropriately. From there, I did choose to include 1 energy recycler. In the future, I may choose to look at the energy recycle system, which is essentially Rescue Stretcher for energy, where you're able to grab either 1 and put it in your hand, which I think could be really strong in this deck, so you can just set up an Eevee to evolve into a Glaceon, or put 3 into the deck, so you have those options. So despite Energy Recycle System being able to do those things, for now I'm going to stick with the Energy Recycler, simply because it's a way to get back energy once our Aqua Patches run out. Maybe if we have to discard some stuff early that we didn't plan on, then this will just help us to get back more throughout the game. Then moving on from there, this is kind of a disruption list, so I'm playing 3 Enhanced Hammer. So not only in the Zoroark matchup are we going to be shutting down their abilities, but now we're going to be shutting down pretty much their only way to attack, so they won't be able to keep their DCEs on there. We're going to be knocking them off as we're taking knockouts. They're not going to be able to trade to get more, so it'll just really be slowing them down quite a bit. And then we have our 2 Field Blower. This, of course, is to mess with a few things. 1, any stadium that may cause problems for us, namely Shrine of Punishment. Then you also have Choice Band, which of course can cause additional damage to us. And if a Ray player is playing Wishful Baton in their list, that's something we're going to have to get rid of before we take knockouts, because otherwise it will cause issues for us throughout the game. And so then from there, we are actually including a multi-switch. This is a card that's going to be in the list that I'm experimenting with, if I'm being honest. This is a card I really liked before in lists like Buzzwole. It was really helpful. Moving strong energies around, you're manipulating the damage a bit. But now I feel like it's more, important in other decks, because we have special energy that cannot be retrieved at all. The only way we can do it is with a Rangaroo, basically, and I don't love that idea of having to take an attack, get our Glaceon out of the active to do it. So I'd much rather have the multi-switch. So if I have a weakened Glaceon on the bench with a DCE, I can move that DCE up. Or maybe I've spread with a Coco or a Latios and I'm done using them, I can multi-switch, move it to the active, and continue to get use out of it. So that's kind of my thought process there. Like I said, this is going to be more experimental than anything else. So that's why what did I do? Clicked a button. All right. Then from there, the 3 Nest Balls. So this Nest Ball has been something that has been kind of debated. Not Nest Ball itself, but the construct of how we play Nest Ball. Do we play it with Apricorn Maker? Do we play it with Lily and then like a huge heavy count of Nest Ball? What I've chosen to do in this list, this is the first time I'm experimenting with it. For a while I went with just Nest Ball and Lily and everything, and it wasn't working very well, and so I tried Apricorn Maker. It was great, but then I had turns or games where I started with 3 of my Nest Balls, which I was playing 3 Nest Ball. I started with 3 Nest Ball in my hand and just got everything down. I was good to go. And yeah, Apricorn Maker was good later to get Timer Balls, but in this list I'm not playing Timer Ball because of Energy Evolution. So in this list I'm including 1 Apricorn Maker and 1 Lily. So it really just depends on how my game opens. If I open with 2 Nest Ball, even just 2 Nest Ball. If I open with 2 Nest Ball, that's really solid to start with. If I open with 2 Nest Ball and an Eevee, like that's just amazing. Like I'm getting a bunch of Eevees out ready to go. And really in this list you don't need a ton of Pokemon down, simply because you're attaching the 1 water energy and evolving. That's really what you want to do. You don't really want to leave your Eevees to sit. So it's not super important that we get a bunch out, but I like to set up as much as I can. But there's going to be games where you get a couple Pokemon out, you're good, you don't need any more, so you don't use Apricorn Maker, and instead you use Lily to build your hand up to 8. So that's why I'm playing a split there, just dependent upon how the opening hand goes. If we have nothing except an Apricorn Maker and we can get a couple Nest Balls to get things going, great. If we start with Nest Balls or a couple Pokemon, we don't need Apricorn Maker. We play Lily. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm trying to split out just to see how things will play out. Then we do play one Pal Pad. I think this is a very important card in really all of our post-rotation lists, if I'm being honest. There's no more puzzles, no ways to get things back. I think including Pal Pad is just very strong. 1, if not 2, in your list would be really good if you can fit it. Then one Rescue Stretcher. This is something normally I'd like to bump to 2, but there's not a ton of Pokemon on this list, so I feel like 1 is okay. Again, we have no ways to really recover aside from like Pal Pad and Rescue Stretcher and Energy Recycle System. Those are kind of things we're working with right now, so I'm trying to see how those numbers play out. I am playing one switch. There's nothing in this list. Well, okay, I don't want to say nothing. So Latios and Lele, of course, have one retreat, so Escape Board could work for them, but really we're more focused on the Glaceons, getting them out of the active if we need to, if they're damaged or don't have the right energy, so we can use a switch in those situations, or of course if Volcanion Prism-Star gets stuck up there. So that is why we include the switch. Don't want anything stuck in the active. Then we do play 4 Ultra Ball. This is pretty self-explanatory. We're trying to get our Pokemon out, and this is how we do it. I mentioned Apricorn Maker already. Then for draw supporters, we have 1 Copycat, we have 2 Cynthia. Then going with the Disruption, we have 2 Judge. Then we have the 1 Lily that I mentioned, that's 6 so far. And then I included 2 Mars. This is something I've seen people play a lot online, and I really like it. It adds to that disruption of the deck, where you get to draw 2 cards, and then if you do, you discard a random card from your opponent's hand. That can be really big. You could be getting rid of a supporter for next turn. You could be getting rid of some special energies, just things they can't get back that would otherwise be very important to them. So I really do enjoy this card a lot. Then from there we have 1 Sophocles. This is something I chose to include to try to discard some water energy. That's kind of the goal. And there's times where you're going to have a large hand and you don't want to shuffle it in and get rid of stuff, so you can discard a couple items you don't need and then build up to an even larger hand and have more to work with. So there's a couple options to play with there with this card. Again, that's one I'm more experimenting with. I've heard some good things about it from people, and I'm surprised I didn't think of it earlier, because it was something I looked at last format going into this format. That was one of the ones I kind of messed with, and I really liked it, and I just totally forgot about it. So that's why we're including him. Then we have the 3 Choice Band. We've talked about this already. It gets us some better numbers than we otherwise would have had. Really sets up some good knockouts. So that's why we're playing those. And then we have the 4 DCE and the 7 Water Energy. So that kind of closes out with the energy count there. Now we're going to hop onto the ladder, grab a game or two, just kind of see how things go, and then stick around till the end for the quick announcements. Okay, so what we're hoping to run into, is actually, well, we're not running into it, obviously. I was going to say Zoroark. This looks like a straight lightning deck. Interesting. Okay. Just a bunch of circuitry, is that what you're trying to do here? I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, I was saying it would be nice if we ran into some Zoroark, because we could just shut it down. That's really how this deck works, and I think that's why it's going to be really strong this next format. But I don't think we're seeing a Zoroark matchup. In fact, I know we're not. Like I said, the only energy type was Lightning. Straight Magnezone? Alright, so in this situation, Nest Balls are definitely what we're looking for. So we are going to go for Apricorn Maker. I do like the option as well to judge turn 1 our opponent. Ooh, probably some Guzmas there. Ooh. Because, man, all the numbers are all jacked up tonight. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not even going to be able to count what we have. But anyway, no, I like judging turn 1 because it adds to that disruption that we talked about before, with the E-hammers and things like that. So if you can start the game, get an evolved Pokemon immediately, get your evolution EV or energy evolution going with your EV, then you're in good shape, and you can just judge them, and they have to then work with a 4-card opening hand, whereas you already had your 6-card opening hand, 7 if you count your draw, and from there you're just kind of continuing to set up with the little you have, whereas they're trying to start with it. Clear as mud. Okay. I got notifications popping up all over. Yes, I would like it to evolve. So we did not prize any Glaceons. That's pretty good. That was something I dealt with earlier, prizing typically one a game, which is not a bad thing at all. I am going to retreat the Tapu Koko. I don't think they have any GXs to worry about, but who knows? We'll have to see here. We'll have to see what they got going. Okay, they got Geodude. Is it the Alolan Golem? I saw someone earlier on Twitter make kind of a... I don't know if it was a joke. They may have been dead serious about Alolan Golem with Fliptini. What do I want to do here? Judge, but I don't like Judge. I'm going to Ultra Ball away the Judge and the Water Energy. I'm going to, come on, grab my other Lele and then get, I'm thinking of Cynthia. That seems like the best option. Yeah. I'll choice band the active, it's not going to make a difference. But anyway, someone's talking about the Alolan Golem with Fliptini and Celebi so that you could copy Geodude's attack where it defends itself from attacks basically while your Golem with 250 HP, and then Fliptini to be able to flip to make sure that you hit heads so that you can be defended. This isn't it because it obviously doesn't play grass or fire, so it's not going to play those cards. Something's going wrong with my mouse. But yeah, this is interesting. Okay, so we get the DCE we want. That's kind of what we're going for. So we can take a knockout on the active here. I'm going to spread damage to the Geodude just preemptively. We'll see what happens here. I imagine it'll go into the GX, which if it does, that's a big Pokemon to take down, so you want to snipe that a couple times. Perfect, we get the Aqua Patch, that's what we wanted, so that we can get that water energy from our discard pile onto the bench Glaceon. Okay, so we went up into Graveler, which has 110 HP. Alright, alright. I'm wondering, let me think here. So we'll put that on him. I think we're going to Sophocles. We're going to dump the Glaceon. We can get that back, and we'll dump our other Judge. He's not getting any big hands right now. Oh, man. Good setup. So we can get our other DCE going here. And you're going to block my items, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to use Volcanion Prism Star, his ability, because either we get Graveler and knock it out, which will prevent him from Golem, or we get Shinx and knock it out, preventing him from blocking our items, which I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for there. That, or they're just putting together a bunch of pieces. We're going to hit the Graveler again. He's going to be up to 60, and then we're swinging 50 damage times that. So it'll be knocked out. That'll be 300 damage. So even if he does evolve into Alolan Alolan Golem GX, it'll be knocked out. Which here it comes. Okay, it's not the GX. I was right about that. So still need a GX it though to knock it out because it has 160 HP. Did Copycat for 5. He's gonna Nest Ball. What is he gonna get? Another Shinx. He's gonna try it again. There is the Magneton. I haven't seen any rare candies yet, so that makes me happy. Do I attach the DCE to something? I mean, I guess I could put it on the Coco. I'll just do that. I could Guzma. In fact, I like Guzma. What does Magneton have? 90? Let's make sure before we do that. If it has 90, then I'm definitely... Come on, let go of the Guzma. Yeah, 90. Alright, cool. So we're definitely going to take it out. And we'll hit the Alolan Golem again. And that way, in future moves, we can knock it out. Just keep spreading that damage. We're definitely hitting a game after this, guys. This is not a good representation of what this deck can do. There hasn't been any GX abilities to block. Quite frankly, no offense to the person playing, this doesn't seem like a solid deck. Okay, yeah, so he's using Luxio to block our items, but he has to attack. Interesting. I don't even... Going for each energy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. No clue what's going on here. I suppose we could just Guzma again. We can take down the Luxio. Yeah, we'll just keep poking stuff, why not? And we'll actually poke the Geodude, because then in next attack we can take down Golem, and the Geodude is the hope. And I guess I could have Aqua Patch that turn. Oh well. We still have it to use in the future. Like, he's done no damage to us. That's how... I know it sounds really bad, but I just don't think this is a good representation of it, because this is too easy at this point. Alright, so you're going to evolve that. We're still going to knock it out. So see, we're seeing bad plays, I guess. So 6. Great Ball. Luxio. Okay. He hasn't even attached any energy either. Okay, so he scooped up. That's fine. Get ourselves a pack. Maybe we'll open that at the end. Alright. So now we're going to try again. We'll do this one. To hit the ladder. And see if we can get something a little more meta. Okay, we're going to try game 2 again. Had a little interruption with the last game. And totally misclicked on stuff, and it totally screwed us up, so I just scooped it, and we're moving on to this one. Basically, I did the energy evolution and hit done without clicking a Glaceon, and I've done that so many games, and as soon as you do that, you're not going to win, so I'm going to just scoop that up and move on. So now I totally missed what we were playing against. I thought I saw Metal. Ugh, man, getting these Lele starts are crazy. I'm thinking what we'll do... Actually, I know what we're going to do. We're going to Ultra Ball away Mars and Judge, get an Eevee, use the Water Energy, play down the Choice Band, Lily for 8 cards, barring whatever card we draw into is what we get rid of. It is a Zoroark list. This is really good for us. We're going to be able to potentially lock up their abilities, and that's really what I was going for. Oh, and they're going to Judge us. Oh my gosh. Judge turn 1 sucks. It's good if you're the one doing it. It sucks if it's done to you. Okay, so at least get Nest Ball and a Water Energy, so that's something. I'd really like to draw into. I'd really like to draw into our Lily again, or maybe Ultra Ball. We can get a Lele for Lily. I'd be happy with that. Oh, it's Glaceon Zoroark, so they're kind of at an advantage. They might not play as much Disruption as we do, but if we don't have our Glaceon up there, they can be trading. Alright, so we get a Coco, and I have our Nest Ball. Let's be able to get our Eevee. Let's see what we're looking at here. And prize any of that. Good there, good there, good there. Got our switch. Prized 1 Ultra Ball. Prize to Mars is 2. Prize DCE is 3. Prize to Water Energy is 4. What else? There's something else and I can't remember. Obviously we priced 2 more things. Oh, we priced 1 Eevee, so that's 5. And then 1 more thing. That's fine. So we'll get our energy evolution going. Let's hope that we survive long enough. Like I said, that turn 1 Judge can just be nasty. Not much you can do to get out of it. Click done. May have to build a Disruption deck based around turn 1 Judge, because it's just disgusting. Okay, so the good thing though is he's kind of locked himself up as well. I can attach, and yeah, I'm going to attach and retreat from the active. That way he can't get an advantage by getting a Lele, or by getting his Zoroark and start trading. Hopefully we can lock him up a little bit more. Now I just need to get into my DCEs. That's really kind of what I'm waiting for. Okay, he's locked up. Good. Ultra Ball. Sweet. So we're going to get our Lele, and I guess we'll just use our Lily. Since there's nothing to shuffle, we'll use our Lily to get a straight up 6 card hand. And, oh, alright, I'm trading in this mouse. Yeah, really all we need off of this is a DCE. If we get that, then we can cause some problems for him. I'm not going to use an S-Ball for an EV until we have a water energy. I don't want to leave it sitting there. They get an S-Ball, so probably going to grab another Zorua or an EV at this point. I would say Zorua, personally. Oh, there's also Slugma. That's something. If we can take down their Slugma, then it really kind of helps us because the biggest problem for us is we can shut off GX abilities. We cannot shut off non-GX abilities. Pretty obvious. Which means he can still set up his next turn. He can get his Guzmas. He can get his DCEs ready to go. Whatever he needs. Alright, there we go. And I want to judge, but I don't want to judge. I think I need to judge. Yeah, it's going to get him a few extra cards. Let's do it. 4 is still not a ton to work with. We get a switch. We get Sophocles for next turn. That's good. I'm going to hold the switch because next turn we can play it, attach the water energy, start taking knockouts. Okay, so we got a water energy for his Glaceon. Nothing else, hopefully. Third Glaceon, that's fine. Alright, cool. So, actually, so I want to put this here for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to play down the EV. We'll switch into this guy. I'm not going to play down the EV because I'm going to use Sophocles to get rid of it, and the E-Hammer. Hate getting rid of the E-Hammer, but so far we haven't needed it. Not saying we won't, but it hasn't really been much of an issue. We'll set up a KO on a Glaceon for the future. We will need a Choice Band to close that out, or another Snipe. Got the Energy Recycler. Don't really need that yet. That'll be a card we hold. And so now our abilities are locked down as well. We need a Choice Band to two-shot this thing. He's going to Guzma, getting... Okay, that doesn't really cause problems for me. Alright. I could Pal Pad and get back Lily and Sophocles. I think I like that. Nope, you're not Lily or Sophocles. Lily, Sophocles. I could Nest Ball just a thin. I think I'm gonna Nest Ball, get rid of the Nest Ball. I don't really... Yeah, I don't really need either of those two right now. I'm going to keep them in there. And then I'll judge. Again, it's bumping them up, but only by 2 cards. And we're getting more to work with as well. So we get a Cynthia. I'm actually happy about that to set up the future turns, because right now this is kind of a stalemate back and forth, which is no fun for anyone involved. There's a DCE for our opponent. Something I really don't like. Next turn what I need is either an energy to retreat, a DCE to attack, but I also need a Choice Band. If I get DCE Choice Band, I can take down the active, which would be really, really good for us. Really, with matchups like this, it's kind of about who gets set up first, and honestly, who gets the Glaceon out of the active. And I'm really kind of surprised he didn't put a Lele up there, but I suppose he did it because it takes a little bit more to get Lele out, but they both needed a water energy at that point. So yeah, I'm going to put the Choice Band here because I'd rather attack with the healthy one. Come on. Do I E-Hammer the active just in case? I think, yeah, I'm going to E-Hammer just in case. I'll also Field Blower just in case. I want to play it safe here. And then we'll gamble with Cynthia. And that's why we E-Hammered and Field Blowered. Because we didn't hit any energy. Which is really surprising. So he gets his second 0 down. He's going to judge us, which kind of sucks, but our hand isn't great, so maybe he'll put us into something a little bit better. Really trying to find a way to get this Glaceon out of the active. DCE, Guzma, that's cool. I'm down with that. I think what I'll do is I'll Guzma up the Slugma, actually, and take a knockout. Yeah, I like that. We'll Guzma up the Slugma. Take a knockout. Do I attach the DCE to Glaceon? Because one hit and he's knocked out. I'm going to say no. I'm going to put it on a Lele, actually. As weird as that seems. I'm going to put it on there. We're going to Frost Bullet. We're going to... We'll guarantee this guy's in range this next turn. I want to make sure that we can get rid of this guy with energy. Get another DCE, so that was fine that we put it on the Lele. Oh, we could even attach another to the Lele. So we see a Cynthia. So he's probably going for Choice Band DCE. Would not be surprised. If he doesn't play anything out of his hand, this Copycat's going to be really good for us. He gets a Zoroark. Finally. It took him a while. But hopefully... Yeah, he shouldn't have any way to get us out of the active. Unless, of course, he plays like Escape Rope or something like that. Does he have a Choice Band? Please say no. No Choice Band. So he's just going to Snipe. But that's pretty damaging for us as well. It's definitely not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one's 6. We'll put this guy here. I'm gonna build up this Lele. Why not? I'm gonna Copycat. Yes, it only gets us 3, but let's see what it can get us exactly. It gets us an E-Hammer, which could be helpful. Really wish I would have had a Guzma to get this guy up here, this damaged Glaceon. But now both Glaceons are within range. We have a Cynthia for next turn, which is really, really good. That should get us a Choice Band. And Lele with a Choice Band is actually within range of knocking out both Glaceons. And at this point, those are kind of our win conditions. So, alright, so he gets his DCE back. No surprise. He's going to be able to hit us. He hits the Lele. The Lele's starting to threaten him. That is good news. I need to see how many DCE they've used up. I would love to see some Aqua Patches here soon. 2 DCE in discard, 1 in the active. We get an Aqua Patch. Ooh, how do I want to do this? 3, 4. There's 3 water in the discard, 4 there. If I get an attachment from the deck onto my Volcanion, I can multi-switch. I'm going to Cynthia and hope I can hit another water energy and the multi-switch again, because I have to do it in a certain order. There's water energy. Yep, would have hit it. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Lele can take down the active. And I think that's what I want to do, is use Lele. I know that frees up her Zoroarks to do their thing, and Lele's probably going to get knocked out from their other Glaceon, but that'll even us up at 2 apiece, and really I would just need DCE Choice Band for the bench Glaceon. And if they try to knock out the bench Glaceon, then Lele's still alive, and Lele can take the knockout. So, we will see what happens here. This kind of comes down to the last few turns, as any game would. So 140 damage is needed, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Choice Band or Energy Attachment will knock it out. Alright, so he's going to knock out the active Lele. So I need... I have no DCE in the discard pile. My deck is really shrunk up. I should be able to hit what I need here. There's no reason I shouldn't. Because I still haven't GX. All I need to do is GX that Glaceon. I just need... Oof. Oh no, I've used 2 DCE on the Lele, so I need one more. I'm not loving our situation. Not very much. He's gonna judge us with this awesome hand. That's fine, he might judge us into DCE Guzma Choice Band. Or just DCE Guzma. DCE, DCE, Ultra Ball. Okay. He's gonna GX this thing. If he doesn't GX it, that's just weird. I can always bring up the other Lele and poke it twice. He won't have time to poke it back. I would rather poke it with Volcanion. I'd really rather just top deck Guzma. That would really be the dream. Or Stretcher at this point. Well, no, I can't Stretcher for Lele because... Alright, Aqua Patch. That makes Volcanion accessible. So we can use Volcanion first. But all he needs then is Guzma. Guzma Energy. If I put up... He needs Guzma either way. Right? Yeah, he needs Guzma either way. Let's use Mars. Hope that we hit something of value. There's Guzma for next turn. I'll put one on Lele for now. I'll retreat into Volcanion. We'll hit here. And we'll hope that that he has no way to get our bench. He's got one Guzma in the discard. I don't feel like that's enough. He needs Guzma and Energy though. But he's got trades. He's got 2 trades at least until he gets his 3rd one out. Had one misstep, that judge. The judge really hurt us. Ultra Ball, you get your 3rd Guzma, or 3rd Zoroark. There's Zoroark. He's just got to dig a couple more times and hope he hits his Guzma and Energy. Guzma DCE will do it. Or rather, Guzma single Energy, retreat the Lele, or retreat the Glaceon. So let's see here. He has the Energy. All he needs is Guzma. If he doesn't hit this, I'll be absolutely amazed. This is a nail biter. See, this is why I like the Zoroark Glaceon a little bit better, because if your opponent missteps at all, you kind of have an advantage. Did he not hit it, or is he just overplaying? Okay, he hit it, and he's gonna... Well played. Good game. Yeah, had I had a Glaceon in the active, it would have helped, but having my Glaceon in the active would not have helped at all. It would have caused a lot more problems. It would have been over a lot quicker. a lot quicker. So good game by our opponent. Again, it just took a little bit of a misstep. That totally ruined things for us. So real quick, let me go to the deck list just to kind of show you guys one more time if you want to take it and try it out. Like I said, there's some cards I'm experimenting with. I think we saw that game some things that we could improve upon. Really, the gameplay wasn't terrible though. I think it was an interesting match. Kind of slow starting off. That's kind of how our format's going to be. But anyway, top 3 rows here for you. And then real quick, I'll flash the bottom row. Sophocles, 3 choice bands, 4 DCE, 7 water energy. And then I'll leave it there for a second. So guys, now we come to the end of the video. Before I close things out, the announcements. A few things. One, I have dropped the Patreon initial pricing for the initial deck box patron from $3 just down to $1. Dropping it down to $1. I've also added, I'm now going to be doing articles on there as often as I can. I'm trying to add a little bit of value for you guys, a little bit of extra content. I put out 2 articles last week. One was simply just about the new meta in general. That is open and available for the public. Absolutely free. You don't have to be a patron to access that. You can hop on there, read the entire thing. Just kind of my initial thoughts on the upcoming format. This was a week ago. Things may have changed since then. Then the other one is about what was it? I think it was about Zoroark GX Muck, or it may have just been about Zoroark GX in general. Just kind of my thoughts about him in the new format, and I believe I gave a list on there. That one is patron locked. You have to be at least the $1 tier to access that. That is our version of a paywall, I guess. Whether or not you like or dislike those, it's there. So if you want to check that out, you can, absolutely. You just have to become a patron, and I would be happy to have you. And then, of course, the patrons get access to the pre-posted deck list. Those won't always come before the video, I will say that. Sometimes I get a video ready and I have to put it out the next day, and there's just no time to get up there. As often as I can, I'll get the pre-posted list, but that's why I wanted to post the articles and add a little bit more value. That's going to be kind of the focus of the Patreon, is those articles. So this week I plan on writing probably at least one more. Not sure exactly what yet. There's so many different things in the new format that I want to discuss, but so little time, and just, I can't put out 1,000 articles. If I could, I would. So there's that update. If you haven't joined our Discord, please be sure to go check that out. We're having a lot of fun over there. For being a small Discord, there's actually quite a bit of activity. We've been having some discussion about the new format, certain card choices, what some people are liking over others, deck choices, some that are old that are kind of being revived. It's just really interesting to hear the ideas being tossed around between some of the Discord members. So please come check it out. That one is absolutely free to anyone. There's the invite on my Twitter. Go there. It should be in the bio. Be sure to check that out and come hang out with us. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the Patreon. I mentioned that it is $1. So the reason that I did a Patreon is, of course, many content creators like to raise money for their channels. That's really what I'm trying to do. It helps to be able to access the cards necessary to do this, of course. And there's a lot more money that goes into this than I initially thought, and that I'm sure a lot of you may realize. Whenever the new sets come out, we're expected to have pretty much all the cards from the set to be able to build the list for you guys to see and to kind of check out which ones that you may enjoy. It takes quite a bit of money to make that happen. In the future, when the channel gets bigger, I would like to eventually have swag. I think it would be really cool. I think some people have already showed some interest in it. And of course, when I say swag, I'm talking about things like the hat. Just got the hat this week. I really like that. It's kind of a golfer material thing. Then some of you saw the playmat. Whenever I got that, it should be on my Twitter. There's pictures and stuff. And then I had that really cool shirt. Some of you may have seen me in Nashville. I wore that there. So just stuff like that. I want to get drawstring bags. I think that would be really cool. That's something that most people don't really offer. I think it'd be good to take to tournaments, just something light. So that's why I'm wanting to do the Patreon, so that we can get some capital and kind of invest it into the channel, kind of grow awareness about the channel and spread from there. And if you're watching the video up to this point, I would imagine that you do support the channel in some way, whether it's through subbing to the YouTube channel, which if you haven't already, please be sure to do that. You may like the videos, you comment, things like that. You may be in the Discord, you may be a patron, and I greatly appreciate that. So if you're watching the video at this point, you're probably one of those people. So you kind of understand the vision of me wanting to grow the channel. That's the goal. I want it to be a bigger thing. I want it to be big enough to where I can kind of put out more and more content for you guys and have the time and resources available. So that's just kind of my mind where it's at. I want to keep you guys updated on that. Yeah, I think that's the updates for the channel. Like I said, this is the list that we use in this video. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please be sure to leave a like for me. Hit me up in the comments. Say hey. Go check out the Discord right now. Come have some fun with us. And we'll see you guys next time here on the Deck Box, where I want to know what's in your box. We'll see you next time, guys.